If your books don't make you blush,
and your coffee doesn't make your heart race.
You might want to sit this one out. This is Espresso and Books After Dark.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you know us by now, but in case you don't, we're your quirky hosts, Nikki, Powell, and Jenny. This is a podcast where we overanalyze books, spiral about fictional characters, and take our buddy reads very, very seriously. But today we have a fun segment planned, fun episode planned. We're going to be talking about our 5-star reads, what we consider 5 stars, and then we're going to talk about a quiz we took. Also, can we take a look at my shelves? Because I'm finally, for the first time in I don't know how long, in my room with books.
and they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I wish I knew you were wearing your shirt because I would have worn my shirt, but it's okay.
Girl, this was a last minute change. Like Jenny can tell you because I was wearing another shirt, but it was clashing a bit too much with my derpy beanie, and I was like, let me find a more neutral color. So I just donned this one on. But like, look at these shelves. I mean, bah.
They're gorgeous.
I love it so much. I'm so happy. This is only a part. I have more, but these are the prettier ones. But yeah.
I love them. I love them. That means it's time for the 5-star fight. So the 5-star fight is really just what do 5 stars mean to us as readers? What makes something 5 stars? So I know we all have different opinions on what is a 5-star read. For me, I'll go first. A 5-star read, I just have to love it. I have to be so into the book that like I did not want to put it down, or like it made me feel all the feels. That's it. I don't need it to be like the best grammar. I don't need it to be like all prim and proper. Just had to be wrapped up in the story. And that's a 5 stars for me.
That is the same for me. I'm all about vibes and how I feel while reading a book, how it makes me feel. If I'm laughing and kicking my feet, if I'm crying, you're getting a 5 stars because you emotionally connected me to your characters, to your stories. 5 stars all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very similar. I feel for me, a 5-star, like y'all, like you, I have to be very like the book needs to be like get me really invested in it, and like that I ignore any and all errors that there might be, and like there's no changing my mind about how I feel about it. Like I have to be feeling all the feels, and just whatever comes, I'm like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay. Yeah, I love me, but I will say I've become a bit more picky about what I deem 5 stars.
So how often do you give them out?
I've changed a lot. When I first started really reading and like not just reading but also reviewing and like with Bookstagram, I was giving out 5 stars like poo poo left and right. But nowadays I feel like I'm more of a 4-star
Serial?
Yeah. And then like 5, like it's a bit they're still a bit common but not as common, and I'm just like, is this really a 5-star? Like I put a lot more thought into it. So but I have a few every so often. Yeah, but
How
I have
about
certain
you,
so
Jenny?
regardless I'm like 5.
Yeah. I'm like Oprah. I'm handing out 5 stars like we're handing out Christmas gifts on the Christmas special.
And
like
you get a 5-star, and you get a 5-star.
Absolutely, hands down. I guess that might make me like a poor book reviewer because I can't balance. But I'm just a vibes girl. Like if I loved it, I loved it, and if I loved it, you get 5 stars. Like,
but I think that's okay, and I think handing out 5 stars because you love the book, that's the whole point. That's literally the whole point of reading is, did you love it? You loved it, that's great. And as long as like in your review of your 5 stars, you're like, I vibed with this. I rode this one to the end. And like you express that, then you're doing it right. Like there's no wrong way to give a 5-star review if you genuinely love the book. That's the whole point. Yeah. And that's like me as a reader, that's all I want. I just want to enjoy the books I pick up. I don't want to pick up a book and be like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live through that ride, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I think for
Because I'm
me,
okay.
nowadays, what really distinguishes or pushes me to that 5 stars, like, did I cry? Was it near tears? Like, whether they were happy tears or like sad tears, like, was I as emotionally invested that like I literally could not hold my emotions in? Then I'm like, oh, yeah, this is.
I do not need to cry for it to be a 5 star. That's not for me. Like, I don't need that. That makes it even more of a 5 star. That puts it higher up on my list when I do cry. Um, I just need to be vibing. I just need to be like, I'm not. Like it needs. If I'm sacrificing sleep, or if I want to listen or read it, like there's points in my day where I'm just like, oh, I really just want to go watch that. Oh wait, that wasn't a TV show. That was a book. So like that just makes it all the more like I want this book. It's gonna be a 5 stars. You know.
I get that.
So we've kind of already answered this, but how much does the technical like flaws in the book keep you from rating it 5 stars? Are you more with emotional? It sounds like me and Nikki are more on the emotional side, but we can dive into that a little deeper. So if you love a book but it has a lot of flaws, is it still a 5 star for you?
I want to say yes. There's only been the exception of less than a handful of books where the grammar was poor and or like the style was poor and I couldn't focus enough to get past it. So like if it had me tripping up every other sentence or every other paragraph and I was like continuously rereading, I just put it down. Like if it was like I don't know how to explain it without throwing a book out there, but I know you know what book I'm thinking of, where I just like if I can't get through it,
Yeah, this was
then
a collective alpha read experience for us.
and there's so much potential and that's okay. But like my point of that is like if I can't get through that, I can't get to give it a 5 stars. You know what I mean?
That's
That
valid.
doesn't happen often for me. So most of the time I'm an emotional 5 star.
I have I'm still mostly emotional, but I have become a bit more technical. It still doesn't overpower it, and like I can still like move past it, right? Because like if you got my emotions, because with just who I am, like if you get me emotionally, that like hands down we're good. But every so often, that technical does kind of affect it. Yeah.
I am 100% emotional. As long as I can read the book and get the story, if you have captivated my attention and you've held it all the way through the end, 5 stars.
That's my
Like,
point. But like if you can't even get my attention, I can't. I can't.
No, because I think a good example for me is like because with our current buddy, y'all have been listening to the audios, right? Both of y'all, right? I'm the only one actually reading it.
Yeah, you're the only one physical reading.
Okay, so there's been a couple of errors as I'm reading through it, and I'm like, it's so funny because I love this series so much, and I get to it, I'm like, okay, that exists, whatever, like, and I'm like, it don't exist. Like I briefly acknowledge it. I'm like, I don't really care about this right now. Like, what else? Like, I want my character. Like, let's move on. But like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a great, like, a good example of me. Like, when I'm captivated and I'm really into it, I can ignore like the little.
Like it's nobody's business.
Like, I'm like,
I also
what is
I
this?
also think I really like audiobooks because like I don't see the typos or I don't see the I'm just listening to the movie in my head. Like everything's good and golden and
Yes, but there was something, and I don't remember if it was this book or a different book I listened to. It was recent, and honestly, it could have been something not book related at all. But what messes with me is if I'm listening to something and they say the words wrong.
Mm.
I know I don't remember what it was I listened to. What was I listening to before this book? There was something and they said the word wrong. Now, yes, you could read a word wrong, and that is fair and valid, especially when the words spread out funky.
Okay, y'all. I haven't let this down. I don't think I ever will, because it was one of the most hilarious moments we've had on the phone recently.
No, because
So we're
I'm
all.
like,
Here's the context. Speaking of mispronouncing words,
wait, I got you, because I'll
we're
show it.
all part of Jillian Ray's ARC team for her latest series, Ricochet Ridge, right?
Hmm.
And her latest arc in release is called Avalanche. So Nikki and I are on the phone, and she's like working on her. I think she was working on like cover reveal posts or something.
No, I said, oh my gosh, I got this in my thing, and this is
Can
wait,
we see
hold on.
it?
There you go. That's what it looks like.
So
So I just want you to understand, my brain read it like that. Ava Blanche. And I said, that's
she's
a
like,
really weird
the
name.
white shoes? Is this the like? Is she was so confused. Who
But
the heck
I
is
didn't
Shay? Shay? I'm
I
like,
didn't vocalize how I said it. I said, oh,
you won't believe how I read.
Jillian's new book came out. And Pal goes, oh yeah, Avalanche. And I said,
That is not how I read it. With the
that's
format,
not how I read that at all,
like
actually.
she was like, "Pow, I didn't read it like that with the format. I read it wrong because it's broken up, you know." And I'm in my head because I was driving, I think, while on the phone with her. And I'm in my head. I'm like, I remember the cover. I'm like, Avalanche, and she's like, "Girl, don't even." I'm like, "Oh my god."
It's
That's so
not my
funny.
fault. But the point, okay, that to the side, grammatical errors happen. They're read. We
Yeah,
all read, sometimes my brain likes to go a little dyslexia every once in a blue moon, and I read something like, I think I read tube earlier and it was tub. Like, it happens. So I understand that. But hearing it over and over in a book when it's like, well, you had time, like you record and then you edit and so like hearing it sometimes that like it messes with my brain. Sometimes it like strikes a nerve in my brain. Um, and there was a whole point to that before we went on to the topic of Avalanche, but
oh, you were
now I don't remember.
people mispronounce words repeatedly in your audios. That's like your yeah. It started with that.
Your pet peeve.
And
Yeah.
I think it was less pet peeve first, and it was something to the effect of like being in the audiobook. Oh, loving the audiobooks because I'm loving this audiobook currently. And then that's what spiraled me out was because
Here's my thing.
yeah.
Okay, I like I said, like not all technical errors will deprive the 5-star review because it's all about the emotions. But my I get more frustrated with spelling mistakes rather than grammar or punctuation. For some reason, like it irks me even more than like it's like when it comes to like edits or whatnot, spelling is my biggest like how is this wrong? Like I get so frustrated with it because I don't know why. Especially for I'm more lenient with like self-published or indie authors because they don't have as big of a team as like traditionally published for edits and everything, you know. Um, but no, I get if there's a spelling error in a traditionally published book, I get really frustrated.
But are you less likely to rate it a 5-star because of that?
No, I think no, not really. I think it wouldn't. If it's
So as
not,
long as it was still you couldn't put it down,
yeah,
regardless of that,
like
you're gonna okay.
it'll be in the back of my head. Like I will be like, I love that book, but there was a spelling error.
I have a
But
friend
okay,
who looks at books and says it only gets a 5 star if there's absolutely nothing she would change about the story.
Ooh.
And I feel like that's too harsh because there's always something you could want to change, right? Like in the one series that we're going to reread, I know what I would change, but that doesn't make it not a 5 star.
That said, I think that's gonna be the first series that y'all have like that. It will be not my reread.
I know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It'll be the first buddy read that we've had in a while, especially Nikki and I think, where I'm the clueless one, like through and through.
I'm excited. I'm actually super excited about it.
I'm nervous.
So we need to put a pin in this topic because I have my opinions, but Nikki has not finished all of the books. She has only read the main trilogy.
Which
And
I
I
feel
think
like
Doing the whole thing, I was just gonna do the trilogy.
okay, but you can do just the trilogy and get the main gist of the storyline.
'Cause
But the spin-offs give so much more background that I think your opinion could change, is all I'm saying.
so. I have an opinion about the trilogy.
respectfully, I'm also sorry. You go first. I will finish.
No. I'm just saying I have an opinion about the trilogy, but Jenny doesn't think I can validly or fully have that opinion until I've read the spin-offs because you get more answers.
How many
And
Yes.
well,
There's
well,
3
there's
right
like
now.
there's
2
no
and
no
a
no
third
no no
one's
no.
coming out.
Respectfully,
There's
I'm also in the middle of doing the Massverse because I need to catch I'm getting prepared for Avatar 6 in November.
the
So I
trilogy.
gotta make my way through Crescent City around as well. Like
That's
Yeah,
fair.
but the trilogy is short. Like,
It is.
not
It's the
short, but
3
it's
and then
smaller.
One Last Rainy Day. So that's not One Last Rainy Day is its own book, but it's part like it's like right after the trilogy. And then the spin-off is the other guys. So there's only one spin-off, but it's multiple books. The spin-off series.
we shall see. Right now, I'm
Anyways.
only agreeing. I'm only committing to the OG trilogy for now. For
That's
for our
fine.
listeners, because we started talking about it and we forgot to mention it. It's the what's it called? Ravenhood? No, yeah,
The Ravenhood series by Kate Stewart.
Yeah,
I'm so excited
So
to get her to read this book.
apparently that's going to be our next buddy. That's our summer buddy read.
It's
Mhm.
actually something I want to sit up and read with her. Like I'll listen to it, but I want to sit up and watch her read it.
Yes. Can we just FaceTime every time you're reading? We'll just FaceTime every time you're reading.
I'll be
that.
off for the summer, so that works.
Exciting.
My family will be confused during June because I'm going to be with my brother, his boyfriend, my mom, and the visiting. So they're going to be like, "You have to FaceTime your friends." I'm like, "Yeah." They want to see my reaction. I don't know.
I'm so
Okay.
excited.
With that said, going back on track with our topic.
We had time to detour. We were doing real good. We had plenty of time.
The episodes. I always tell you I leave us time to detour because I know us a lot. So, but let's not detour too much because let's not forget your girl is starving. Okay, your girl needs food, and it's like 9 o'clock over here almost. Anyway, stop. With that said, so 5 stars. They've become they're quite the I don't know, the topic / controversy at times, and debacle amongst the community. So my next question is like, are 5 star ratings overused sometimes? Or no? How we feeling?
I
go back to not thinking they can be, but Jenny.
I definitely feel like I overuse 5 stars. And I'll admit it. But at the same time, if I'm enjoying a book, isn't that what the author wrote it for? Like, is for me to enjoy it. So if the author wrote the book, I enjoyed it, why would I not give them 5 stars?
Exactly. That's exactly my thoughts and point.
That's how that's how I feel too. I know I definitely as I keep growing, or as I was growing, or like shifting everything and expanding, I think I was like, I feel like I'm like overuse. I felt like I was overusing the 5-star rating because I felt like every review was fives and five and five, and which is valid because I mean I loved every book, but I think as I started growing older, or like my perspective started shifting, I guess I just became a bit more like, okay, let me use these sparingly so they have a bit more meaning to me, at least, of like, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, but I don't feel like they're overused. I mean, like, they're very personal decisions for readers, and everyone has their own system or manner of thinking and rating. So
You can't over give 5 stars when you're reading a lot of books and you're loving those books. Like, I go back to what I said earlier, that's part of being a reader. And that's part of why these authors write their books and put them out there. And that's part of why they like fine tune them so much, is to make sure that what they're giving you is 5 stars. We've all three read the same book, and all three of us had a different opinion and rating on it. Like, I know I've read a book and I've been like, absolutely 5 stars. And Pal's like, it's a it's a solid 3.5.
I have
And and that's okay. That's okay.
I
But
love
it's like
that because I can finally do that.
but it's like that's the point. That they want us to read it and have feelings, and like at the end of the day, even if it was 3.5, I'm pretty sure any author is gonna be like, I brought some emotions out in you. I made you feel something. This wasn't the book that made you feel everything, but it made you feel something. So like, I don't think they're overused at
I want
all.
to be clear. I really did enjoy the book. I didn't like the ending, which is what brought it. I know it's a duet. It's gonna get there, but yeah. Okay. So with that said, speaking of like, we're really focusing on the 5-star rating aspect, but how about like with rating lower? Like, are we afraid? Do we think as a community, or like as personally, are we afraid to rate like low? Like, are we afraid to give a book a low rating?
I'm okay with disliking something, but I don't have to publicly dislike it. So for me, working with authors and being on their their teams or helping them get their stuff out there in marketing, I understand how detrimental it is to give them a really bad review, and especially a really invalid bad review. Um, so I just personally, if I don't like it, I just don't rate it. I don't rate it online. I could still rate it with my friends. That's fine, but and I just won't recommend it. I'll just put it down. I have one that's literally 1 star, and I didn't 1 star it. I just put it down. I don't recommend it. I don't even say the title because that's my 1 star. That's not your 1 star. So I don't know if it's being afraid to rate it low or just having more of a like respect and understanding for authors. And I know everyone's always like, well, reviews are for the readers. Yeah, but it's not just readers. They also hurt the authors.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm afraid to rate low, but I'm also courteous, like Nikki's talking about, towards how my ratings and reviews are viewed for authors. But also, there could be a book that I enjoyed but didn't love, but it was well written, and if it had been for instance, I am loving the series that we are buddy reading right now. But fated mates and things of that nature are not usually a genre that I love, or it's just not something that I'm usually a reader when it comes to. So I tend to not recommend those books because it's not one that I have a lot of opinions on. But there's an author that I work with or help, and that's what she writes. And they're good, and I rate them as they're written, but they're not something that I would probably ever reread because it's just not my topic.
I think for me, I'm not afraid per se to rate low, but especially if I'm like art, I think for like specifically when talking about art reading and like indie authors, I do everything in my power to try like to give it as high of a rating as I can, if that makes sense. Like I'll be enjoying the book. Like there are certain times that I'll be enjoying the book, but it might not be my favorite or my top book, and I'm just like, please give me something that like I can really like
Mm-hmm.
hone in on to make it like make that positive twist, because I'm like I want to support this author, and I'm not saying it's a horrible book. It's just it's not as much as my like for my taste and stuff. But like I'm like I put an extra effort into finding something that I really like about it, so I can when it comes to review, like sometimes like I've if you like because I've had books that I'm like this was like a 3-star read, which is kind of like a low rating for me. But when that happens, I like take out the rating and I just focus on like what I do like in my review. Like I don't necessarily mention it's like this was a 3-star or like maybe it was a bit lower, but this is what I like. I just like this is what I liked about the book. So I try to keep it positive so I can still show my support for the author and be like, hey, you did great, just not particular for me. But it's still a good read for others, and here's why they might like it. But yeah, and also like y'all say, I try to be like as I learn more and more about how ratings can truly impact authors. The more I work with them, I try and be more conscious of not putting like low ratings on the review platforms.
I would say yes. I think people are also harsher with their ratings because of social media. Um, and then I think also some people are more courteous um, due to social media. So I guess it just depends on what side you fall on.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I started reading because of Bookstagram. Like I started reading again. Like I was a reader as a young adult or a teenager, but then I stopped and I started reading again because of Bookstagram and Book Talk and all of those things. So for me, I've kind of like been immersed with it. Like, so, but I've seen both sides, like where they rate harshly because they feel like they need to, and like we were talking about, they feel like they need to be nicer about some books too.
Right. I feel like social media definitely has changed the rating culture. Um, in the effect of like sometimes like it's both sides, right? There's two sides of the spectrum. And sometimes people are they overhype a book, right? And then you have some people who are like, well, it can't be that good. And then they go to read it and they pick it apart, or like they look at the expectation of, well, it was supposed to be this good and now it's not. And it's like, I think it changes it because it shines a light on it. So, like, whether it's for good or bad, it shines a light on it. So, you know, you have some books and they're banned books. And then it's like, oh, well, people really want to read those. Or they have some books and it's like, wow, this book was so good. I loved it so much. And then, like, my sister won't read a book if I overhype it. So, and that's kind of what social media is. Social media is constantly overhyping things. Or like, well, what's it all about? And sometimes it's good, but a lot of the times I think people then expect that. And when they start the book and they're like, well, I didn't feel this way instantly, or their expectations are here because of where someone else's rating was, I think it just affects it a lot more.
Yeah, I think something with social media and that particular culture is just, and like especially with certain like books and movie or like or any form of media, honestly, like
Hmm.
we as consumers sometimes, like as a population, we tend to forget that everyone has their own, like, it's very a personal opinion. Like, it just because I really loved it doesn't mean that it's going to be that for everyone, which is, I think, when I do appreciate with certain reviewers that they're like, if you enjoy these tropes or this kind of genre, this might be the book for you, versus of
Hmm.
like, this is the most amazing, like, like trying to really hone in on the audience for who it's most intended. I really do appreciate when that's the case because it makes it more specific and like it can reach the reader who would like actually truly enjoy it instead of just
It becomes more relatable.
instead of the general population where like someone who might be more contemporary will come across
Hmm.
what's like Den of Vipers and they're like, oh, I heard this is really good, and then they discover I was like, okay, this is not my cup of tea. This sucks. Um, right. And I think something one needs to keep in mind is just you have to be aware like when you don't like the book, not to bash the author. Because if you didn't like it, it might not have been like meant for your particular taste.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. But I do think
Only
that
because you've said it and it made me think of it. When I said invalid reviews earlier, I don't mean that like, wow, I love this book and someone else didn't like it and that's not valid. What I mean is the author purposely lists all their tropes and all their triggers and they've said it and you know going in that it has a trigger and then you leave a bad review because you got triggered over something that you knew was there.
I
That's
just
not valid. Then that brings us to Shits and Giggles, which is like, I don't know, my favorite part of our segment most of the time because it's just so fun.
I love
Um,
it.
this is titled Espresso Shot Questions. So it's rapid fire questions. One character you'd block on social media.
Nay toast. Sorry.
really.
I haven't read book 3, so I don't know if I could vote for that.
I based on what I
But I
know, yes.
Where are you
Oh,
at in the
no,
series? Do you have to
no.
clear?
Can I change my answer? I'm a block because I read the entire trilogy already, so I'm not clueless. Gail Hawthorne from The Hunger Games. Bye.
okay,
And that's my
fair.
I have not finished the series, so currently where I stand, Chase from Say You Swear.
Okay,
I
I
would block, but he gets his own book, and apparently that might change. I've been told my opinion might
Oh,
change.
fair enough. I'm not
where
surprised.
I stand, I'm still pretty comfortable with my decision. I'm blocking tampon.
Block it.
My husband doesn't agree with that. He thinks there's a redemption coming for that man and that he also just loved her so intensely and like he's like I just want him to have a redemption arc because side character now, right? So he's like I want him to have it. I'm like literally don't care about that man.
I'm gonna
Um
just keep smiling. This is my poker face. I smile.
a, a book you'd survive versus die in.
Um,
Ooh.
I feel like fantasy wise, I feel like I would survive in the Agatar universe. In like, yeah, I feel like that's where I would survive in like Prithian. And
See,
then
I was
Okay,
thinking I could survive in Twilight.
oh no,
that
no.
part.
Oh, I didn't. I
But
could.
like I would die in the Hunger Games, but I
I
could
would
survive in
die.
Twilight.
Well, you know what? I think I could also survive in Divergent,
Mm,
but I
I
would die.
could survive in Divergent.
I would
Okay.
die in Fourth Wing.
So I think I could survive in Fourth Wing. I think I could do it. I think I could. Am I
As
overly
as
cocky?
a
Absolutely, yes. I'm overly cocky, but I think I could do it. I think I would find all of the strength I needed, just like not comparing to Violet, but like, girl, she's a baddie, okay? And there's nothing I love more than a strong FMC, and I refuse to be anything other than that in my own story. So I think I could, um, especially if I had fun powers. What I would die in? Probably something boring. Can I just do a genre? I'm gonna just say like a historical romance. I would probably die in
I would die in a dark romance.
that.
Mm.
I would die
Fold,
because
maybe. Die? No.
die just because if I had a man like Diesel, I would not survive, but I would gladly go through it.
That's kind of valid. Okay, a book you defend in the comments.
Den of Vipers.
None of
The
Vipers
Flock.
and Deadly Blooms.
No, like the Raven Hoods. I'll go to war for that one. I actually have, so.
Uh, But the okay, I don't guess I see that many mean comments about the Ravenhood because I feel
Oh,
like it gets plenty of hype.
I'm
Oh, a
also
friend of
one.
mine literally like tried ripping it to shreds
I'm also
Oh
one
with
no.
me.
I
Akatar in the comments. I would do that too.
Which one?
Akatar, Corn, Thorns, and
Oh,
Roses
for
book
sure. I mean, I would defend almost any book I read in the comments, like,
for you.
but oh, and Little Stranger.
fair, fair.
The fact that I've defended it with both of you.
I
Okay,
didn't hate it.
I didn't either.
but you didn't love it either.
I did.
Uh
Uh,
oh,
a book
another book I defend in the comments. Hold on, one more. Caught Up, the sequel to Lights Out,
I
the second
haven't
one.
read it yet
I know, but I would defend it in the comments because people drug that book through the mud and it is
because
good.
because people. How do I say this nicely?
Oh, I would. You know what? We can. I would.
People
I would
look at
defend.
the first book and have expectations based on what they think book two should be, but they don't realize that book two is a completely different story. It's
Yes, 100%.
I would also defend Luna Mason's Behind the Mask series. So like Distance, Devoted, Detained.
this was rapid fire. Just throwing that.
Oh. Is
A book
anything
you only finished out of spite.
Oh,
Oh, I have one. I have one. What's it called? It's Such Pretty Things, something like that. I finished that out of spite because I was doing it for traveling book, and my friend had picked it because of the cover, because the cover is actually quite pretty. But we did not like it. But we had gotten dedicated so much time to it by the time we're like, oh my god. I literally I finished it because I was like, this better end.
Oh, is that what we're counting? Then fine. I got one. Never mind.
Yeah, but that one. And also, it was like I feel like if it had been a different genre, I would have been able to be like, I'm gonna just let this go. But it was a mystery, like part of the genre, like it's known for was mystery, and there was like a murder that needed to be solved. And the main reason I finished this because I was like, I need to know how this works. Like, how does this end? Do we figure this out? But
So,
one of the most frustrating experiences of my life.
is it okay if it was part? Okay, so I finished the first book. I just didn't finish the series. The reason is I barely could get through book one.
Fair
Like,
enough.
but it was All He'll Ever Be by W. Winters. Love her writing, just prefacing that. But uh-uh, uh-uh.
I have it. I haven't read
I'm
it.
I'm a I'm a I need a strong female. I need there to be growth. There at least like by the end of the first book in a series, by the end of the first book, there should be some growth. It just wasn't giving that for me, and it's just not for me. So that one I finished strictly because I had to. So I'm gonna count that for Out of Spite.
I haven't. It's
I
one of
don't.
the bigger books, which is why it's like out and proud in the shelf. But I haven't read it yet, so we shall see.
Any, Jenny?
I, I don't know any off the top of my head.
Mm-mm.
I feel like Alchemized is going to be that one for me, but I haven't finished it yet. So I'll let you know. I'll update you. But I feel like it's going to be one that I finish out of spite. We will see.
How about a popular character you don't trust?
Morgan. From
I don't know who that is.
That's
Oh,
actually crazy.
I like her, and
You
she
know
has,
what? I can see that.
but there's just something that I'm just like, I don't know. It's not
Well,
sitting.
that's because we don't know her full story.
Well,
Because
yeah.
like there's
But
so
still.
many so much unknown. That's crazy. I don't disagree with you necessarily. But I still find that one crazy. I love her. Absolutely love her.
Oh yeah, it's just
how about Dane from Fourth Wing
fair.
series?
But does anyone?
Because I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of sitting on the fence. I don't fully trust him. Don't know what she's going to make him do. I feel like that's valid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And until the series are finished, it's kind of just all guesses, anyways, because you don't know what's going to happen.
That's how I feel. More. But yeah, I think out of the unfinished series or like the ongoing series, for me, my biggest like one is more. It's just I need to learn more. You know. Oh my god, I did not mean to do that, but you know what I mean.
If we're talking about our current, I could do our current book. I could do that. And I'm probably gonna say Knox, if that's not obvious.
No comment.
Actually, I take that back. Because I trust Knox a hell of a lot more than I trust Atlas right now.
No comment.
Who?
Atlas.
Oh, okay.
No comment.
I know.
For our fellow listeners, Jenny and I finished. I can't remember if you finished, Jenny.
I finished book 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jenny and I have now finished, as of today, book 3, and Nikki's making her way through it, but she's still at like the semi like beginning. So
No, literally, I'm on like chapter like 6, 7.
So I finished it this morning, and it was so funny because I went to text a group chat. I was like, I finished, but it was like right under Nikki saying she got like with her foot injury with the computer. I'm like, now's not the time. Never mind.
So yeah, I kind of what happened there was I went to put my laptop on my crate, but my crate was in my chair, and like put the weight of my laptop. It's not even heavy, but it was just too heavy, and it made the bin start falling. So I had to grab my laptop, but the bin was still falling. So I'm like one hand on everything, but my laptop wasn't zipped up in its case because I'm brainless sometimes, and the laptop flipped out of the bag, and it was either hit the step or throw my foot out there. So I threw my foot out and it literally hit me like right here, but like on the foot. And it's bruised and it really hurts. It still really hurts. Um, so I had a great day. But yeah, no, Atlas, primarily because of where I'm at in the story. I think I honestly think I trust Nox at this point a hell of a lot more than I do Atlas, which is crazy because until right now he was my favorite.
No comment.
So, anyways, Touch Her and Die or Who Did This to You?
Like, who's our favorite character that has those vibes? Is that what
No,
we're
like
saying?
which
Oh, like
trope?
which one?
Like which Touch Her and Die or Who Did This to You?
Both. I'm gonna go with both.
I'm a sucker for Touch Her and Die. That's like one of my top tropes. Compare that with Who Did This to You?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
a
look at
sucker for
Griffin.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
a sucker for Toucher and that. Oh, Griffin is all everything.
So our next topic is what type of readers we are. We each took a quiz and
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
Oh, y'all, because I was in charge of finding this quiz. It took me forever to find one that satisfied me. I'm not kidding. I took so many. I'm like, these are so good. I found one. I'm happy.
So what is your reading type?
Okay, so I want to give a shout out because I got the quiz from another fellow bookish podcast, I believe, right? No. Yes, I did. I'm trying to remember what the podcast is. I feel bad. Oh, currently reading podcast. So shout out to them for creating this. My reader type. I'm the intuitive. My style pairing is mood and comfort. Should I just read what it said? How we do? Okay. So the intuitive. Apparently, I know that feeling when you're standing in front of your bookshelf and something just calls to you. That's my whole reading life. Okay. I don't do TBR lists, or rather, I have one, but it's more of a suggestion box that I cheerfully ignore. I feel very called out. Reading challenges make me feel vaguely rebellious. The moment someone tells me that I have to read something, even if that someone is past me, a part of me immediately doesn't want to anymore. Let's see. And honestly, I have figured something out that a lot of readers haven't. Reading is supposed to feel good. That's it. That's the point. I'm not here to optimize or prove anything or check boxes. I am here because a good book is one of life's great pleasures, and I refuse to let anyone turn it into homework. My superpower is that I actually trust myself. What? Who said that? Anyway, I know that I'm in the mood. Oh, wait. I know what I'm in the mood for. I know what will hit right, and I'm not going to apologize for wanting to read the cozy mystery instead of the important literary novel everyone's talking about. Mind you, it would not be a mystery, it would be romance, but fair enough. My reading life is generally restorative because I have stopped fighting myself about it. The shadow side, because there is a shadow side apparently, is that sometimes trusting my gut means my gut gets lazy. I might find myself reaching for the same comfort reads over and over, not because they're feeding me, but because they're familiar. My mood might actually be a rut wearing a cozy sweater. I love how it's saying this as I'm rereading a fair amount of books. And that stack of half finished books on my nightstand, some of them might have been worth finishing. I just wandered off. The intuitive's work isn't about abandoning comfort, it's about getting honest with myself. Is this what I want or just what's easy? There's a difference. I'm smart enough to know it. The question to sit with: when was the last time you let a book be a little harder than you wanted and stayed anyway? Boom. Mind you, it was meant but it was you, but I just changed it so it fit. But yeah, that's my reading type. Thanks, according to the currently reading podcast, and I think it's actually quite accurate. I was very happy. I felt very called out, which is what which means it's a good result. Yeah.
I also got intuitive and I got mood and comfort for the style, which
Hey.
is like I literally knew like as soon as I got it, I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're
it
twinsies.
it no, it's literally the exact same thing, and it fits me so
Twinsies.
well. I think I have recently though read a book that was a little harder than I wanted it to be. Um, and I stayed anyways, and I did love it. It wasn't like impossibly hard. It was just harder than I like my books to be. And that was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And that's because it's a historical romance, so starting out, I didn't want to read it at all, but I stuck with it. And after the first like 3 chapters, I actually wanted to know what was happening.
So I got The Intentionalist, and my
Oh,
style is planned and growth. You don't just read books, you're doing something with them. Maybe it's working through an author's entire backlist. Maybe it's finally understanding a period of history that's always confused you. Maybe it's a reading project that makes you feel like you're building something brick by brick, book by book. Whatever it is, you read with direction, purpose, and a plan. And it works for you. At the end of the reading year, you don't just have a list of titles, you have evidence. Evidence that you grew, that you learned something, that you're not the same reader you were 12 months ago. That matters to you. It probably matters more than you admit out loud. You're the reader people come to when they want to go deep on a subject. You've done the homework. You can recommend not just a book, but the right book, and you can explain why. There's a real satisfaction in that, and being a reader who reads with intention instead of just consuming. The shadow side. Sometimes you forget that reading is allowed to be fun. You might push through a book you're not enjoying because it's important. You might feel a weird twinge of guilt when you pick up something light. You might have accidentally turned your reading life into a self-improvement project. Which I have a comment about that. But anyways. And now it feels less like joy and more like a literary to-do list. The intentionalist work is to remember the rest is not laziness. Not every book has to build towards something. Sometimes a book can just be a book and enjoyed in the moment, then closed and set aside without needing to mean anything at all.
I just want people to know Pal and I are only over here laughing and sipping our drinks and trying to be quiet. Like we're literally mimicking each other in sync. But it's because this description is Jenny. This is Jenny to a T, and it couldn't be more accurate. Like
it is, except for where it talks about self-help books, because I did have a self-help phase several years ago. But the only thing these books over here are self-help in are in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like they're not doing a whole lot of anything else over here, but I love that. But I do have a plan. Usually I have a hopeful list and I usually stick to it, and I have a spreadsheet that I check books off of.
Put the spreadsheet out there.
And I have all of those things. So yeah, I agree with this.
I'm actually thoroughly impressed with how accurate these were for all 3 of us, because like we all know I'm a mood reader, and Pal is somewhere in between me and Jenny, between the 2 of us, but I feel like she does tend to lean more towards like the mood comfy reader versus like she likes a little plan, but like I just love how accurate they were for all of us. Like for the most part, Jenny's is spot on. Like she's the one I go to when I'm like, I don't really want to read. I'm struggling to figure that out, or like, oh, I don't know how to organize all my reads. The girl's got a spreadsheet for her library. She's got a spreadsheet of what's read and what's not read and what needs to be done before she can get more books. And I mean, she's the most organized person aside from Pal that I know.
I love that you think I'm organized.
You're more organized than me. Jenny said, what are we talking about tonight? And I said, I usually don't know that till 5 minutes before we get on.
That's valid. That happened.
No, I am okay. For this particular trio in this particular subject, I am the most organized.
Yeah.
But, okay. With that said, okay, so we know we all like we like these were pretty accurate results. I felt like I was so happy. So again, shout out to Currently Reading podcast, because that was wonderful. So what about the questions? What did we think about the questions? Were they good or were they not? Like
I think they were very fair.
I like they were short and concise. Like
they were.
I loved it.
I only had a little bit of concerns for the 10:47 p.m. one. Because girl, trust, when I finish that book, I'm going to bed.
That's so funny, because I'm over here like, I was reading the options and I was like, this has happened to me, but I'm the person who would just go to my Kindle libraries like, is there a novella for me to keep reading tonight? So
Hmm.
I took that, but I think I said I would wander to my shelves because I technically would go to the Kindle library, which is like my online shelf. But
And see, I would have a list and already know what's next on the docket.
if I'm reading
Like,
series, that would be me. But otherwise, I'm like random. Let's pull something up. What am I in the mood for? But
Hmm.
no, I think
You're
they were.
lucky if I'm up at 10:47.
That's true.
Um,
But I loved
I
it. I
think
was
they were I think they were very good questions to help figure out a reader. They were very quick. The first quiz you sent, it felt too complicated. Like I literally like there were too many options I could relate to, so I had to bring in
that one really had to.
reinforcements.
I was
And
like,
I
who?
literally was like, "All right, babe, answer these questions for me," because I couldn't. Like I felt in between a lot of them, so I really did like this one. I thought it was very simple and straight to the point.
I agree. I like the first one because it was cute, but I also agree it was a bit overwhelming. No,
Mhm.
but I was struggling. I was hoping BuzzFeed would have a good one because BuzzFeed has so many great quizzes, but I didn't like the I didn't like the BuzzFeed one for once. So I was like, not quite what I'm looking for here. But it was nice. Yeah. That's saying. What do we think our reader types, as wonderful as they are, and accurate, because my God, say about our personalities?
I mean, I think they were spot on. I am a little bit more less whimsy. I have less whimsy in me. I am a little more scheduled and um, organized. And I think that it shows that.
I know. I think it's great though. Like I love it. I love I because like I'm also very impulsive. So I think that the mood and comfy read it, like I absolutely will pick up a book just because it has like the vibes or tropes I'm looking for. And I don't necessarily go back. I do go back to my favorite rereads, but there's only like a few of them I do. And like we're reading this one, and I was literally telling Jenny, I was like, if you guys like this book, I have a feeling you would love the Alpha Girl series. It's more YA than this one is, but it's just so good. So I felt like they said, I felt like it fit. I felt like it fit my personality. I feel like the mood and comfy thing is just pretty spot on.
I agree. I think it really does reflect that. While I can be a planner, I also am more on the impulsive or like let me go this way now because this is what I'm in the mood for rather than what I thought I'd be in the mood for. Like this is where I'm gonna go now. So I think it did a really good job at reflecting that and the fact that I'm like really honing in on like what do I want to read now? Like what am I in the mood now? Like and just trying to keep me happy as a reader. But yeah.
I love that. I think that brings us to our reminders. And, you know, overall, in our episode today, I think the reminder is that reading should be fun. I think that's primarily what we always come back to is that reading is supposed to be fun. And if that means you're a serial 5-star rater, that's okay. It should be fun. You should be able to enjoy your books. If it means you pick up something and you don't like it and you put it down, that's okay too. It's okay to not force yourself to read something. It's okay to just go with the flow. And it's also okay to be super organized and have to finish a book anyways. It is okay no matter what kind of reader you are. Like, just love reading. And that's the whole point. If you're reading and let's say you are to the point where like you're so organized and you hate it, maybe you need to like reevaluate. Or if you're so unorganized and you just have too much and you don't know where to start, maybe you need a different plan. Like maybe you just need to scrap it all and try again from the beginning and just fall back in love with reading. Because at that point, you don't love reading. You are just doing it to keep up with the pace. And that's not what reading is about. That is my reminder to you.
We're gonna do actually dive a bit more. We mentioned it this episode, but for next one, we're gonna dive a bit more into our Bonds That Tie series buddy read. We're gonna do a progress check and see where we're at, our theories, thoughts. Well, their theories, because I already know everything that happens because it's a reread. But we're gonna really dive and hone in on those reactions and thoughts.
No,
I'm
because
so
I just read it. I just read it and it says, and whatever else Pal comes up with.
And then I couldn't figure out because y'all, I'm usually a bit more prepared, but I kind of slacked off a bit with the script, planning scripts. So I got to catch up. But yeah, I was like, we're gonna do the Bonds to Tie progress check, and then whatever else I come up with. But Nikki was meant to read it, so it was meant to say she was meant to
it
whatever.
Is mine. I'm sorry. What happened was
Yeah.
I was peeking over here because I stopped scrolling at some point on my thing, so I was just peeking at the other one, and it's not on the original.
Yeah, because I added it to this one because I was like, oh right, I could have did something here. But yeah, anyway, Bonds to Tie progress check, whatever else I can come up with, it's gonna be great. Y'all know I won't disappoint. I'm a genius.
Exactly. And so with that, we're gonna let Pal go have some food. So if your books made you blush a little,
and your coffee still got your heart racing,
then our work here is done. This was Espresso and Books After Dark.